Alright guys, we are going to be finishing up lesson 1.1G, Linear Equations and the Real World Problems. So when watching these videos, I want you to pause or rewind or raise your hand and ask questions as I come around and help you guys out. Remember, it's a challenging lesson, so some of this might be new concepts, but if you have any questions, don't hesitate to either rewatch the video or raise your hand. So what I would like you to do is turn to page 5 of your, question number 5 on your notes. So it's right where we ended up off at. So let's go ahead and read this together. Miley is trying to solve the following riddle. The sum of 3 consecutive integers is 84. What are the integers? So if we remember this, consecutive integers are in a row. So for instance, 7, 8, 9, these are consecutive integers. Any integers that are going in a row. So the other key piece of information is it says sum. Sum is the addition, the answer to an addition problem. So it says write an expression that represents 3 consecutive integers if the first integer is n. So what it's saying is we have 3 numbers. We have a first number, we have a second number, and we have a third number. And when I add them all together, I'm going to get 84. I don't know what the first integer is, so what they're telling us is we are going to put the variable n right here. So that's why it says the first integer n. So now we need to identify the second integer. We don't want to have a different variable. We want to have the same variable, n, but the second integer is going to be 1 greater than the first integer. So let's just think about this. If my first integer was 5, the second integer would be 5 plus 1, because 5 plus 1 is 6. Which means if I need to get my third integer, it would be my original number that I started with, which was 5, but I would add 2 to it. That is how we do these with variables. So if my first integer is n, my second integer would be n plus 1, my third integer would be n plus 2. It is 2 greater than my first number I started with. So let's look at B. It says write an equation that represents a situation. Remember, we have our first plus our second plus our third integer, and that's going to equal 84. So to set this up, we said n was my first one, n plus 1 was my second one, and n plus 2 is my third one, and this added up to 84. Now that I have this, I just treat this like a regular simplifying an equations problem. I'm going to combine my like terms to get 3n. So 3n plus 3 is equal to 84. I then just go ahead and solve by minusing 3 on both sides to get 3n is equal to 81. When I divide both sides by 3, I'm going to get n is equal to 27. That is my first number. So if my first number is 27, the consecutive one would mean my second one is just 1 greater than that, would be 28, and my third would be 29. And this is part C. So in part C, what were your 3 integers? 27, 28, and 29. Alright, so Karen wants to find the length of her kitchen table to see if her new chairs will fit. She knows the perimeter of the table is 168 inches and that the length is 36 inches more than the width. Karen's solving process is shown to the right, but she made a mistake. Describe in words what mistake she made and find the correct length of her kitchen table. So really quickly, what I always do is I draw a rectangle. So this is my kitchen table. And it says the length is 36 times more than the width. And this would just be my width. This would also be w plus 36, and this would be w. Remember, we're talking about perimeter here. Perimeter is the distance around the outside of the table, and they said the perimeter is 168. So then what we would do is we would see what the perimeter is. So let's go and double check what she did up here. She had w, which was correct. W plus 16 was correct. And what she said is I have a W here and a W here, so she got 2W. She also said I have W plus 6. That is right here. She actually is missing one of the sides. She is missing this side right here. That is this part right here is where the mistake is. There should be a 2 right here. So explain the mistake. She forgot one of the links. So the correct solution would have been W plus W, these are my widths, plus W plus 6, W plus 36 plus W plus 36. So when I add all these together, I am going to have 1, 2, 3, 4W plus 36 plus 36 is 84. No, it's not. 36 plus 36. I can't do that in my head. Hold on. 36 plus 36, that is 72. And that's going to equal 168. So from there now, I'm just going to solve for W. I'm going to minus 72 on both sides. And that will give me 4W is equal to, and all we're going to do is subtract these. 8 minus 2 is 6. 16 minus 7 is 9. So I have 4W equals 96. Then going to divide both sides by 4 to get W equals, let's bring up our calculators, 96 divided by 4 is 24. So that will give me 24. So that means the width of this table is 24. Cool. And it says also find the correct length. So to find the length, we're going to just take this, and wherever I see a W, I'm going to plug in 24 instead. So I'm going to have 24 plus 36. When I add those up together, I'm going to get a length of 60. And those are my two lengths. Alright, so let's go ahead and try the next one. So it says, for the next problems, I want you to write an expression and find the missing values. So it says, Torrey Pines High School has 5 times as many desktop computers as laptops. The school has a total of 360 computers. How many of each type computer do they have? So what this problem is saying is, I have a laptop, and they said I also have desktops, and when I add them together, I'm going to get 360. Now I need to know how to compare them. Well, it says, we're going to say the number of laptops is L. And then it says, Torrey Pines High School has 5 times as many desktops as laptops. So to figure out desktops, it says it has 5 times as many more desktops than laptops. So we're going to take our laptops and multiply it by 5. So it knows when I take my laptops and I take my desktops, it's going to add up to 360. So that's what you want right there. So then when I combine these, I'm going to have 6L is equal to 360. When I divide both sides by 6, I'm going to get L is equal to 60. That means I have 60 laptops. Now to figure out my desktops, well, by looking at what I just wrote up here, my laptops plus my desktops equals 360, you can just plug in 60 right here. So 60 plus my desktops equals 360. And when I subtract 60 on both sides, I'm left with the desktops is equal to 360. Alright. So let's go ahead and look at the next one. So on these shapes, these ones come up often. And anytime it says in a triangle or in a rectangle, the first thing I want you to do is draw it. So it says I'm going to have 3 angles. I'm going to have angle A, angle B, and angle C. So what I wanted you to do is to label your angles. So this is A, this is B, this is C. So now let's go ahead and read it. In a triangle, angle A is 3 times larger than angle B. Angle C is 20 degrees larger than angle B. the sum of the three angles. So when I add up all the angles together, they're going to add up to 180 degrees. So everything is being compared to angle B. So if we look at this, this is how we write this in geometry. We have the measurement of angle B. This is how we write it. Instead of writing measure of angle B, it's the measurement of angle B. And since everything is being compared to the measurement of angle B, I'm just going to put a variable B here. So I know measurement of angle B is just B. Now let's look at the second part. Angle A is 3 times larger than angle B. So I know this angle is 3 times larger than angle B. That's what angle A is. And it says angle C is 20 degrees larger than angle B. So if I take angle B and I add 20 to it, that will be angle C. Now I know when I add up angle A, angle B, and angle C, that will add up to 180 degrees. So I'm just going to write these then. Measurement of angle A plus the measurement of angle B plus the measurement of angle C will add up to 180 degrees. So from there now I'm just going to combine like terms. 3b plus b plus b is 5b plus 20 equals 180. From there I'm going to minus 20 on both sides to get 5b is equal to 160. I'm going to divide both sides by 5, and I'm going to figure out by doing that b is equal to 32 degrees. This is 32 degrees. So in purple now, it says angle A is 3 times larger than angle B. So it's 3 times larger than angle B, and we found out angle B is 32, which means this would be 96 degrees. So measurement of angle A, that is 96. Alright, and the last but not least is angle C. Angle C is if I took my angle B, which we said was 32, and I add 20 to it, that would give me a total of 52 degrees. Alright, so we're going to pause this video here. I want you then to go and check out the second video that will get us through the rest of the lesson.